All right. So tonight we are going to talk about creating an important tool that can help all of us with focus, and that is what we call a vision board. So now, just before I get going, okay, I have been having a little trouble with my headset. Can somebody just give me a heads up if you're able to hear me okay, or post in the chat or
Yeah,
something?
sounds good.
Great. Thanks so much, Robin. The other night, I don't know, I was in the middle of an event and then the headset died and I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh
I'm
no.
lost without my headset. But so what is the purpose of a vision? Why do we say that? Does anyone have any thoughts? If you want to chime in, feel free to take yourself off of mute. What do you think? What's so important about a vision? Why do we really need this? What do you think? Any thoughts? Anyone?
I think it's the wind in your sails. Without a vision, what do you do?
Okay. All right, a wind in your sails. That's good. Anybody else? So let's talk about what we hear about all these people who are really successful. And there's a lot of um, discussion. What makes someone successful? What makes someone very good at achieving goals? What makes one person better than another person at doing that, right? And we want to say, there's debate. Oh, well, is it skill? Is the person just smarter? Did they go to a better school? What is it about them that allows them to achieve more than other people? More than other people, we'll say it that way. Why is it that certain people can achieve so much more than others, right? And here, and I'm not going to say that this is the only way, but one of the ways is they have a vision. They have a vision for what they want. And when you have a vision for what you want, it means you can drown out everything else going on around you and stay laser focused. So every action you go to take is going to um, be in the direction of that goal. So I'll give you an example um, of a goal that I personally achieved because I set myself up for a strong vision. I saw it and I did everything to work towards it. And one of the things that I did was one of my careers. I have several master's degrees, those of you who know me. So I've had a few. Was becoming a teacher. And one of the things was, even more than a teacher, I wanted to be a math teacher. And because I was a journalism major in the state of New Jersey where I live, I needed to take additional math classes in order to achieve the level of certification to teach middle school math, right? You have to have um, 15 credits in math, and I think I only had like 6 or something. So I needed to take additional courses, and I needed to take the praxis exams, which are the tests to become a teacher in the and get the passing score and everything. So there were steps I needed to take, and then eventually I achieved that certification and I became a math teacher, right? So but how I did it, I had to block everything else out and think about that goal and make sure I was working towards it, right? So there's so many distractions in our world, right? We have so many different things going on, that one way that we can help us to have our vision of what we want to achieve is by creating a vision board. And I thought this was pretty interesting concept. But does that make sense? Anybody else have any thoughts? Anybody have any significant goals that you're or have you laid out your goals yet? Anybody want to chime in? Feel free. I'm open. Okay. All right, we're thinking. That's okay. So part of creating the vision board is also creating goals. And I know it seems so annoying. It's like, but I don't want to create goals. But we need to create goals because that's what's going to project us forward. So so let me just share with you. So the tool that I'm going to suggest to use, and you can use any tool that makes you happy, that works for you. For this vision board, I am going to use Microsoft PowerPoint. And do you have to use PowerPoint again? No, use whatever works for you. But I am going to suggest this and I'm going to show you why. So maybe this tool will work for you. If you find another one, that's great too. And let me also share with you, there are some online resources on creating vision boards that I found that you can also look at to see if it inspires you. And there is this website and it says 12 online vision board apps and websites for 2022. So this website will also give you some ideas, and looks like this is from developgoodhabits.com. Oh, that sounds like a good site. There's this tool Canva that you can use, and they give you different templates on ideas for that. But I'm going to show you why I think PowerPoint is very powerful. And I think that whether it's Canva, whether it's PowerPoint, I think you can still achieve the same objective successfully. So when we're creating a vision board, what are we doing? Well, what's going to go on it? What's my vision? Does anybody have any vision, or do you want me to just do an example? I'm open, whatever works for you all. Okay, so I'll just do an example. So let me just show you how this works. First of all, is everyone familiar with PowerPoint, or is anyone not familiar with PowerPoint, I should say?
Familiar.
Okay, great. Thanks, Marley. Robin, Flavian, Mark, you guys know PowerPoint, okay?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay, perfect. So you know, right? So it's probably going to be really obvious why I'm picking PowerPoint. But here's what I think is cool. So what I would suggest is to start out, let's start out with some goals. So I can start out creating my vision board. First, I need to know what my goals are. So if I want to know what my goals are for the current year, right? So maybe so for me personally, right, I'll just use myself as an example. So I want to obtain my PMP certification, which those of you who've been to my events before know I'm working on this. I usually talk about it a little bit. And I want to improve my health by exercising more, right? Exercising, or least exercising, but we'll say exercising more. Okay, so maybe I have a couple goals here, right? And then, so now if I'm going to call this other slide, and let's see, I'm going to change this slide to a blank slide. Or actually, let me change it to a title only. And I'm going to call this Stacy's Vision for the Future, right? So here's, and I'm sure you guys know. So what's so cool about PowerPoint is I can, well, I can play around with the font and, sometimes I love to do that and I'll just like play with it. So, um, I can now create a board for my vision, right? So if I want to say, okay, oh no, oh dear. Okay. Sorry, guys. Donna can't come in. I've got to try and figure out how to get her back to us. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, so if I want to say my PMP certification, I'm going to maybe go and I want to focus on that PMP certification. And so maybe I'm going to grab an image here, right? You can, sometimes it helps us to grab images. So I'm going to grab this PMI image and I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it on my vision board, right? Because this is what I need to think about. And then exercising more. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to look for exercising. Let's see. So I'm grabbing some images here. Again, I'm thinking about what's going to motivate me and keep me focused on what it is I want to achieve. So let's see. We've got a lot of people exercising here. Oh, wow. Now, I wish this was me right here. This gal looks like she is really doing it. She is kicking up everything. I'm like, yes, that, I wish this was me. She has got a lot of energy. I appreciate that. That would be fantastic if I could achieve. Yeah. that would be good for me. Okay, so now on my vision board, we can break this down a few different ways too. So we can put in a text box right here and say year one or current year, right? These are the goals right here that I want to, I can get rid of, like, I think this is, I don't know, this seems pretty powerful. I feel like she's really got the energy. She is really making it happen. Okay, so year one or current year goals, right? So this is my vision. This is what I'm trying to stay focused on. Now, and this is why I love PowerPoint, right? Because you can move slides around, you can, you can play with things. And then what's really cool too, is I love to do, you can go into the view and you can look at the slide sorter and then you can see everything all at once. You can move things around, you can do a screenshot once you've got everything there. I think that's pretty cool. And you can have, all your goals and your vision all in one place. Now, one other tool that I saw when I was getting ready to prepare to talk to you guys is I found this, which is a nice template. So you could always create, make your vision board. This is, your spiritual goals, your physical goals, your financial goals, organizational goals, recreational goals, giving, professional, relational. Did I say that right? Is that what this is saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm not reading the cursive too good. I'm like, it was a little bit fuzzy over on my end.
It is. Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I'm like, what is it? Okay. It looks like,
recreational. Yeah.
right? Okay, because it looks like an S and that's where I got a little bit thrown off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can put your goals in that way and you can throw in like the text boxes and put in what means something to you. This is again general and the way I'm thinking about it, but again, put in what makes sense for you. So the current year, then we can add another slide. Okay, say 5-year goals, right? We can put in our 5-year goals. Now I'm trying to think of what my 5-year goals are. So yes, I want to start a business and have it become profitable. And let's see, buy a home without a high mortgage payment. So that would mean like more money down. And then maybe we want to say complete my doctorate degree, find a role as a professor for a university, right? So, these are kind of off the top of my head. I still need to work them around a little bit because maybe it should be a 10-year goal. Some things might be 5-year goals, some might be 10. So then we can also do our 10-year goals, right? We can say what we want in 10 years. And you know what? I think I missed, let me see. I'm going to put here. Also, I'm going to put some spiritual and romance. So let me see. Find long-lasting love. Maybe then on my 10-year goals. Let me see. I got current, 5-year, 10-year. Okay. This is getting fun, you guys. This is getting interesting. Let's see. Stacy's long-term goals. Will she still have her meetup group in 10 years? Maybe it'll evolve into something. Let's see. I'd like to put that as a goal. That's interesting. Isn't that interesting, Robin? Are you with me? Is that interesting or not? Yeah.
No, it
Okay.
is,
Let's see.
definitely.
Let's see. Evolve my meetup group into something significant. Okay, I don't know what that is yet, so I got to work on that, right? And then, because then here's the other cool part of PowerPoint. This is what I love, right? So I can take my goals for the current year, and then I can take each one and I can break it down, right? Like exercise more into how I'm going to do it, right? So then we're getting into SMART goals, right? So we're going to, now it's like, okay, here's what my goals are. And now I'm breaking it down. So let's see, obtain my PMP certification. So how am I going to do that? Right? So I am part of a study group. Let's see, I have to read the Rita Mulcahy's book, right? So I'm basically putting all the steps down, how I'm going to do that, right? So I'm just want to emphasize this right over here. Now, exercising more, right? So ensure I am walking 10,000 steps a day. Eat healthy to give me more energy. And then what else?
Drink more water.
Oh, great one. Thank you. Drink more water. You guys will see me. I do have my water bottles here.
Yeah, me too.
Good. Sometimes all of a sudden I discover, oh, I didn't drink enough water. My tongue is really dry. And do a daily aerobic workout to a YouTube video or something like that, right? Because there's lots of, very motivated people, and I think they are fantastic out there creating those videos. So just like we did here for my goals for the current year, I can do the same thing. And then, you can get fancy, you know, we could throw it, slap on a design there, you know, make it nice, whatever. So, whatever makes you happy, you know. So I can then break those out further, and then you could go over your no, excuse me, not slideshow, the view, and go to slide sorter, and you can look at them. You can grab like a snap, like a screenshot of it and like throw it on a page, you know, print them out, put it in a binder, sit and look at it, post it wherever you need to see it to remind yourself to follow it. So then when we come back to the solid vision, or basically our main vision board, right, where we're bringing all those goals, it's going to culminate onto the vision board here. And, you know, I can then add in my, let's see, over here, then I can say my 5-year goals. So, and then over here, we can say our, oopsie, text box, right? Grab and text box. I love it how you can just throw text boxes anywhere you want here. I think it's fantastic. And I get excited about little things like that. Right. So then I put my 10-year goals. Right. You can space it out, you know, whatever makes you happy. Right. So, so then I'm going to go here, you know, I can grab some images of, you know, I just hit up Google here, business. I'm going to go over here to my images, whatever makes me think of a business. So let's see, you know, maybe person sitting here working, that should do it. Right. I'm like, okay, so this represents starting my business, right? So I'm looking at this here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to be like, okay, my 5-year, right? Be like, resize it, make it fit the way that you want it to. Then I'm going to go back and see, let's see, you know, buy a home, get the doctoral degree. So let's see, I'll get a picture of a house. Right. Oh, what a cute craftsman that is. Oh, I
Yeah,
like
that is
this
really
one.
cute.
Isn't that super cute?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's like if I could have pictured or could have described a house, it would be just like this one. This is totally awesome because I totally want this house. This is super cute. Oh my God, I love the color and everything. What a nice door. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, that's sticking around on my vision board for sure. Okay, and then I want to get my page. What am I keep hitting? Okay, so then, you know, my PhD. Oh, this is super cute here. All right, look at that. That's grabbing the image here. I'm throwing it on here. You know, make it all fit real nice, right? Do you guys see? Are you with me? Is this making sense? We're building the vision because we want to stay focused on what we want and what's going to help us to achieve the goals, because we can't achieve everything all at once, right? We need to be, we need to have focus on what it is that we want to achieve. So this way, you know, other things don't distract us, because, you know, who's got ADD like me? And like, I could be focusing on a whole bunch of different things. And then it's like, am I getting anywhere? Not always, but I'm trying, you know, so, so we want to keep that in mind as we try to narrow things down. And then I can go over here, you know, love. So let's see if I put in love. Let's hope. Oh, what a cute little heart over here. See, no, this, yeah. I could go crazy looking at and saving images to you guys. Don't let me get out of control here. Robin, you keep me in line, okay?
Okay,
Don't let me
you're
get
doing really
out of
well.
control. Thank you.
I like this so far.
Do you?
I've gone to another vision board class and I didn't really get much out of it, but this makes a lot of sense to me. I like it.
Really? Oh, yay. Yay. And that means so much to me too, because one of my goals for this year was just starting this group. And I have been for the last several years, and I can't even probably 5 or 10 years, but I've had ideas and things in my head that I've so much wanted to share with other people. And having the chance to now do that means so much to me. And I'm like, sometimes I feel like I take things for granted that, oh, well, everybody knows how to do it, or everybody
Mm.
looks online. And, even for me, I'm like, no, but can you walk me through it? I feel like
Mhm.
it's just nicer when you have just somebody to do it with you, or just like give me a model. And when you like, even this website that I pointed out to you guys. So here's what I think is wrong with the website. Where did that website go? That was like when I was looking up stuff to create a vision board. Oh, I didn't save that. Um, um, that link. But my point was there were a lot of ads on
Mhm.
that website. And I think that, I'm sure the people who created the website, they're very well intentioned. But what I saw were a lot of ads. And I find it very distracting. I know they need to make money, and I know they need to have the advertisements and everything on there, but I just feel like it distracts me from the goals sometimes too, right? Like
Mhm.
ads and all these other things going on. So I find that sometimes these websites they're just not cutting it for me. It's not always as clear as I'd like it to be. I'm somebody, I am a teacher, as I told you guys, and I've also taught students with disabilities. So I get really sensitive to how information is transmitted, and how things are broken down, and making sure that people have models for what they're looking to try and do. So I get really sensitive to that, and I get like fanatical, and I'm like, but this isn't laid out as nicely as I think it should be. So that's you know but that's me, you guys. So I'm glad that this is useful. I always feel like, gosh, if I can just help one person, that means so much to me. um and involve my meetup group. So let me put in something um meetup on here. I've got the group up because I was afraid I was going to have to cancel tonight, you guys, because of the rain, and I wasn't sure what they're like, oh, we're supposed to have really bad thunderstorms. I'm like, oh my goodness, is my internet or something going to go out? So let me just see here. So let's see, I'm going to have the meetup group, and I want it to go somewhere. So when I see that meetup, I kind of go back to the goals and say, what is it? Okay, something significant. So I would know if I was going to break this out further when I make a separate slide for it. So I need to think of how, do I want to evolve my meet up group? So these are questions I'm asking myself, and I'm going to work on, solving it, coming to some kind of a conclusion, and then I can go and add that to my vision board, right? And then I can go and add in some 10-year, let's see, did I put any 10-year goals? Maybe buy a beach house by then. Buy a beach house. That sound good, you guys? Because
Yes.
let's go to the beach house. Stacy wants a real background that looks really good, not just the fake beach. Let's see. Let's see. I'll say make $1 million, right? Well, why not, right? we can't achieve it unless we visualize it, right? So make $1 million and hopefully more by then. So we'll just, you know, we'll just play with it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to find a picture of a beach house. Woohoo! Maybe in like Miami or Naples, somewhere where it looks really good. I hear New Smyrna Beach is nice too. Let me see. What am I looking for? I get distracted to see all these ads and different things right away. It kind of like, ooh, this looks nice. Oh goodness, which one to pick? Oh, right here on the beach. Oh, now this is a good idea. What do you guys think, right? Right here on the beach. This really says it. Stacy
Yep.
wants a beach house. I think that that's
Perfect.
gonna you know, get the point across right here, right there, that turquoise water. Ooh, that looks good. Let's
Yes,
go
it
right
does.
now. Let's see if I can find, something that represents, you know, the money. Let's see. Okay, this looks like it's going to cut it right over here. This guy looks like he's got it. So he's going to, whoops. Let's see, the, you know, $1 million over here. So let's see. There it is. All right. So what do you guys think? Do I have my vision? Are you with me if I said, you know, tell me what I want to achieve between now and 10 years from now? Could you tell me what that is?
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Okay, great. So if I am spending time every day looking at where I'm at, where I'm going to go, um, and where I want to be, this is just an example of how I see um, a vision board. And then, of course, keep taking those goals and working with them, breaking them out, massaging them, adjusting them. And that's what I like about this in PowerPoint, because I feel like, you know, I can go back and I can just manipulate or delete or add one slide wherever I need it. And I can go and like sort it through. I can go like the slide sorter, and depending on the size that you make your fonts. Now let me show you. Um, uh, I know you can do that easier. I think, oh, down here you can click the shortcuts. I don't know why I wasn't doing that. Sorry. So I can go and if I make my font, like let me grab a different. So you can play with it, you know, it's just like, where's a font that's going to make my text bigger? Okay, so say I want, now let me see. Now I'm messing it up. Okay, so if I just go here and I make my font larger, right? If I go to each one and I make the fonts larger, the point that I was trying to make, and of course, this is the first time I'm doing this, you guys. I've kind of like just had to think about how this should be. And so like when you make the fonts nice and large and then you go to the view over here, see, you can see it easier now than you could before. So it's almost like, okay, I can have my vision board and I can have my goals. And if I wanted to, I can grab me a screenshot of everything at once, right? And then I can go and I can slap that bad boy. I don't know why I don't know why I say that. I just, you know, I just say,
like
slap
it.
that bad boy over here. So, and of course, you guys, this is, you know, this is what I see over here because of the, I got you guys over here. So you can see you guys how I see you now. I'll just crop you all out. So this way you don't have to, there we go. So I can put it on one, and then I can be looking at my goals up here and my vision all in one. And you could just, you've got the idea of what I'm trying to say, right? You just have to kind of make it, if you make it large enough, you can look at it all at once, which I just think is nice to do. And then you can change the order and play around with it as it suits you. Any questions, thoughts? And Letitia, welcome. I know she joined a little bit late, and Flavian, hey, how you doing? Did this help you
Hi,
at all?
thank you.
Hi.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So the idea is you write down your goals in words and then you find the pictures.
Yes. So one of the things that I was also talking about was, so I have my goals for the current year, and then I have my goals for my 5-year goals and my 10-year goals. Now you can just do a vision board if you have, specific goals for your 1 year. What you customize it to you. I just did it. I tend to hear, they say, do your current year goals, your 5 and your 10-year goals, right? So I have it where I'm setting my goal, my current year goals, which is to obtain my project management certification and improve my health, right? Those are my main big goals for this year. So that is why I put these 2 images here. And then, because I want to think through how I'm going to do that, I want to make sure I have a solid, attainable plan to achieve those goals. And that's where I come back to breaking down these. So these 2 goals that are right here. Oh, wait a second. Whoops, sorry, I'm on the wrong slide. At this, when I highlighted this here, this threw me off. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so I'm coming back here. So I have, these are my goals for the current year: obtain my PMP and improve my health. So I broke those 2 goals out onto their own single slide, right? So this is obtain my PMP and how I'm going to do that. I'm making a plan specifically to do that. And then right here, improve my health by exercising more. Underneath here, I am creating a plan to achieve this. So I have my, nothing just comes by just thinking about it, right? We need to make it, we need to break that vision then into attainable steps so that we can work to achieve it, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
time just goes by. This is where they say, oh, well, we all make New Year's resolutions, but they don't happen. Why? Did you put in an actual plan to do it? Or you just kind of said, oh, I'm just giving up candy. Well, did you put in a plan? Did you say how you're going to do it? Did you break it down? Did you visualize it? Right? So why aren't these things happening? It's because we're not, well, we may or may not be putting the appropriate action behind it that will allow us to work to achieve it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining that. And
Yeah.
another question is,
Sure.
do you because usually they have from all the vision boards that I know, it's like on the wall or somewhere that you can see it.
Absolutely. So you can print this out. I mean, if you wanted to print out your images and you wanted to paste them onto a board to hang it up, go for it. Whatever works for you. So this is my brainchild. This is how I see it. This is the work of Coach Stacy's, and this is my vision. This is
Thank you.
how
I
I
love it.
see it, how I think about it. And print it out, put it all over. The idea is, this is why I like using PowerPoint, and Letitia had stated that at the beginning, that there's lots of tools. I mean, you can use whatever makes you happy. I just think that putting it all in one file where you can put your goals, you can manipulate them, you can add, remove slides, you can throw text boxes. I just find it really workable to be able to put everything into one place so you have it and you can focus on it, So whereas other, like a tool Canva I saw was just kind of doing just maybe the image and like little text, but I like having things broken out, but because I'm a little ADD and if I have too many things going on in one page, if I see everything I want in one page, it kind of like, what do I focus on first? But when I have each thing on an individual slide, okay, I can focus on that slide. And then I can, make sure that I'm breaking things out that I need. Does that make sense? Does that
Yes.
help? Yeah.
Yeah,
Any,
thank you.
yeah. Does anybody,
I had
any
a, I had a
questions?
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stacey.
Yeah,
You did
again,
a
this is
really
the
good.
first time I'm doing this, so
Yeah, you did a really good job to so quickly.
thank you.
One of the things I get confused with is SMART goals have all these specific, the five sort of areas:
Yes.
specific, measurable, achievable,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
often if you put everything on a single board, it's hard to quantify the SMART goals, and I'm wondering if you do have a few big ones. Do you kind of do a SMART sheet or something for each one, because
I
they're
would.
different in terms of
Yeah,
the measurables and the achievable. Like they're
yeah.
actually quite different. The steps.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So, and what you're saying is
People I
it's
know,
really, go ahead.
people I know sort of discontinue this type of thing because they get lost in the fact that they can't do the steps because things um, it's too simplified if it's on a single kind of board or something. So your approach of splitting up is helpful. It's not as sexy as those single boards, but it's actually easier to comprehend.
I am all about what's going to get it achieved or what's going to get it done or make it happen. And I don't believe you always have to over complicate things. I am more of a do things incrementally, integrate things slowly, because change does not happen overnight. Especially big change is usually a 3 to 5 year process. So I am more of a, I'm not about being fancy. I'm about getting what's going to make it happen. I don't care about the, some people get, oh, we'll use this technique and they're all into their techniques. And that's nice. But for me, it's what's going to make it work. So when you're talking about the SMART goals, so you can absolutely, and again, my goal for this particular talk or lesson, whatever you want to call it, was more just to show the concept of building the vision board and taking goals and transforming them into a vision. But you can certainly, create those SMART goals. And so for example, right here, I'm talking about how I'm going to achieve this PMP certification, which is a lot of content in a very short time in order to take this 4-hour torturous, I call it a torturous exam, because you have to sit and read all these questions, these 200 questions for 4 hours. So I know, kind of what I'm actually working on it. So I don't have my full SMART goal, my full plan. And I feel like that's been stopping me. It's like I have a study group. I have my text, well, my study books. I have a bunch of them, and I have videos and I have different supports, but where I'm still like trying to put that goal, like the steps to achieve it in my mind is like, how am I really putting this all together? Like, what's the method? Like, I really, even like part of my SMART goal should be to put my study plan together. That's really what I have to do. So that one's a little bit more complicated because there's just so much content, and I am trying to grapple with that one. But I could also look at improving my health by exercising more. So the main thing, even with the SMART goals, it's like, okay, so if I'm going to give myself like 1 or 2 week increments, 2 weeks to increase my steps by 1,000 steps a day, right? So I know, 10,000 steps is approximately walking for an hour a day, right? I know that it's around there. It depends on your speed and, how fast you walk. Right. So I can do that and then say, well, I'm going to do this consistently. So I can focus on each piece separately when I do separate slides. And that's part of why I like using the PowerPoint, because, I can hide this so it doesn't distract me. And I start thinking, well, wait, did I look at the other one? Did I look at the other one? Right. I can stay focused on one at a time. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question? Did I go overboard?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
It's just that when I've seen this done, it gets into the end images, and it
Okay.
doesn't really get into the how. So
Oh,
it's really quite romantic to put in all these photos, but it doesn't really get into the how. And most people, they, there's like that body of knowledge that says you just keep looking at them and they happen, and that's a bunch of baloney.
that is a bunch of baloney. Yeah. So that's where, when I, in another talk that I did, a different event, I had mentioned creating a vision board, and then an attendee to that event had said, can you show us how to do it? And when I was actually sitting and thinking about, well, how would I do that? I mean, I tend to be able to see things in my mind, but when I'm explaining something, I like to give the detail. I try to give as much information as possible. So everything you're seeing here is based on me. It's not based on any sort of research. I haven't looked, all I did was look at that one website that I had mentioned to you. I haven't looked at how anyone else said to do it. This is all based on me hearing about goals and somebody, I think on television, just showing. Actually, I think the show Two Broke Girls, the the girl Caroline showed her vision board, and that's everywhere that this is coming from for me. So this is all me. This is how I would do it. And I'm going to continue this actually for myself now that I've created it this way, because I did have my goals and everything mostly written on paper. I hadn't had it structured this way, um but my goal right here is to be as energetic as this gal right here, and that's where I'd like to go. So again, I definitely, I'm one of those people, and I like to point out where the problems are and or the disconnect, because I'm more of a big picture person. And so it's just like when I'm teaching my students, I start with the big picture and then break it down, and then I have them do examples. So if I could challenge all of you to try and do for yourself what I just did, at least see if you can get this far or further if you can. I mean, fantastic, right? So I would challenge you, after watching this, try and put something together, because the way we learn and make it meaningful is is by doing. We have to try, we have to massage it, we have to see what's going to work, what's not going to work, and then we have to try again. So you can listen to people give you advice. Oh, we'll do it this way, do it that way. Yeah, you can. Or you can try and see what's going to work for you. So Flavian, did you find something? Did any of what people said work for you? Is there like one you want me to do for you? An example, hit me up. I'm here. If you want me to help you out with something, just let me know.
I
If I
think
can
it's
come
just your approach to break it down is helpful because the SMART goals, I think, if you go through all the literature, it's very practical and um, COVID and all this stuff is pretty heavy duty, and
yeah,
your SMART goals sometimes need to change related to
absolutely.
achievability, compared to being disappointed if you just stare at them every day.
Right, right.
So
And so let's think about this. We have our vision, right? We can see, see the future, see what we want. And then and what I find, that's what I like about actually project management. I'm kind of learning how to break everything down. And but I'm definitely somebody who believes in, break it down to the smallest part. If you're not doing that, you're not going to be able to achieve. You're not making it achievable. And I'd love an example. Can somebody give me an example of a goal? I'd love to try to take it and just break it down. I feel like I'm not giving specific enough of an example. Does Flavian or anyone, do you have anything I can try and like break that down into really small parts to make it achievable? Or is there anything that you can think of that I could let's see if I can do it. Challenge me. I'm cool with it.
I'm starting a publishing company in about 2 weeks,
Okay.
and I have
Okay.
some goals for two to 3 years. So I don't know if it's practical. It's just a business thing.
Okay. So have you broken that down? So how did you go about achieving that? You set the goal, you got the funding, you found the location, you brought in work, you're bringing in maybe a workforce, or maybe you've got some folks who are going to work for you, or
A bit simpler than that, but yeah,
okay. Oh, okay.
somewhat similar. Yeah.
I
Shall I
work in
tell you?
publishing, so yeah.
Okay. So um, I applied for a program and was accepted in January, and that program was to help you launch an independent local publishing company. And Google is the one who sponsored it. So
Okay, great.
they gave us sort of the steps, 2-year vision. The goal is sustainability because too many companies, you don't want to be working 100 hours a week in 2 years or 3 years.
Sure.
So the idea is the goal is sustainability,
Okay.
which means you build a company that grows with an audience. So it's starting off as a digital newsletter once a week. It'll likely go three days a week. It's local in Toronto, and it's mission driven. It's to kind of focus on underrepresented Black, Indigenous people of color
Okay.
who are creatives, the creative types, and it's specific to Toronto, which is where I'm from in Canada.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so you start with a newsletter, and then we'll test out the podcast through the newsletter to see if people like a single episode and what type of structure. And it's really, can you get it going once a week, and based on the feedback, can you get two days a week? And along the way, one of the the guidance from the program was, don't wait to build an audience to get sponsors talk to them now and get into conversation, because probably one of them will be very interested before you achieve goals, because they want to be aligned to the mission. And so that was helpful, because that's, sponsors obviously understand that you need to finance it. And it's fairly common, which I didn't know, that sponsors will pay for things before the result is achieved.
Okay, great.
And so it's sort of piecing it together that way, with publish, but also pursue sponsors while you're publishing. So I launch in about 2 weeks, a week and a half to 2 weeks. I've got a big list of sponsors.
Okay,
And so part of the goal is for sustainability, to try to generate a certain amount, minus 50,000 by December 31st,
okay,
in terms of sponsor money. And that seems to be achievable based on what others have told me they've been able to achieve. And that will pay for some contract labor to assist with producing the newsletter and things. And right now there's some volunteers assisting and some
great.
students. And they quite like the idea because they represent BIPOC
Okay.
folks. And so it's sort of that mentality. So the goal is to have 2 full-time employees by the end of year 2. And to be
Great.
generating approximately 250,000 in revenue from a newsletter / podcast / event series, of which probably 50% will come from a combination of sponsors for the different products, which would be a podcast, the event series, and the newsletter. And the other 50% would come from revenue based, whether it be e-commerce. One of the things we probably will do will be to work with the creatives in the Toronto region, which there are tens of thousands of them, because of it's about 6 to 7 million people in the sort of the region, and to work with them to build an e-commerce kind of environment where we promote their stuff as part of part of that community, but also sell it and pass on most of the revenue and keep a commission type fee for us. That sort of fits with the mission. And so far the interest from partners is pretty high, because there's just not a lot in this area, sort of the BIPOC underrepresented groups in Toronto, which is a big city. I think it's the 4th biggest in North America. Well, Canada and the US. And so it's big city, but it's sort of underrepresented with that group. And I mean, in the news in the US and Canada, there seems to be ongoing challenges with the Indigenous folks. So they're responding very well, because they just want to tell their story.
Great.
So I think we'll have people to get to tell their stories, and it's a question of how